Have you ever wondered why you aren't growing taller, or is it just me? I used to be the shortest in my class, group of friends, and had a girlfriend even taller than me. So trust me, I've been through every situation. So naturally, I created a document that's 120 pages long so I can get down to what makes a person tall or short. After watching every YouTube video, downloading apps on how to get taller, and after drinking hundreds of liters of milk and even doing my own scientific research, I wanted to grow taller, but I didn't want to go through the risk of limb lengthening surgery. So after hundreds of hours of research, I made a few discoveries. Just like how much advice on the internet is wrong. Also finding out constant ways of what increases height before, during, and after puberty.
James drives, scoop layup, pass to himself, and he throws it down.
So what does a 120-page document look like? Well, it's pretty long, and I don't want to explain the whole document, otherwise it would take me a week to make and edit the video for everyone. And plus, I've made it available, link in the description if you want to read it for yourself. There's a lot of scientific research in here. There's also some of my own experiences in here as well. I've been doing this for the last 2 years, so I think I've gained some experience with it. I've basically gained around more so 6 to 7 inches of height. So the document was a huge help in it, and I saw what worked and what didn't. And with that, I realized what I had to do. I wasn't always as tall and confident as I am now. I also had a lot of girls rejecting me because I was too short, and most people, even in my family, had always made me feel overlooked and still treated me like a 12-year-old even though I was 16. So trust me, it was pretty bad. Even meeting a girl I spoke to on Instagram and praying she wasn't the same height as me was pretty crazy. So one day, after a girl asked me if I was in 8th grade when I was out with my friends, I lost it. I went home instantly and started writing the document with all of my research. I promised myself that I was going to grow taller, and at this time, I was around 5'3". So naturally, I went to one of my friends. For the sake of the video, we'll call him Tristan. Me and Tristan were the same height at 13, but he grew taller than me when he was 16. So naturally, I just had to ask him, how did you get so tall, bro? And he told me the most basic answer: sleep more. That's all he said to me at the time, but I have to admit that my sleep schedule was kind of trash, so I stopped sleeping at 12 a.m., waking up at 5 a.m. to get ready for school. Also thought that he was gatekeeping something from me, so I just decided to do my own research to see why sleeping makes people taller. So when I did some research, I realized one thing that makes humans taller, and it's so simple, you'll kind of feel stupid for why you haven't been doing it earlier. It's growth hormone. As much as it's one concept, but here is everything that goes into the process of releasing more growth hormone. It seems like a lot, because it is. That's a part of growing. It's not a thing you can just have. It's more so a result of having a certain number of things happening within your body. So, the document made it easier for me to identify what I had to do. It's simple, I just had to release more growth hormone. So what exactly did I use to get taller that can help you on your journey to adding some inches to your height? So the first thing I did is I had to find a way on releasing more GH. So the discovery was pretty simple. I first had to realize the current mistakes I was making and why I hadn't grown like my friends. My body needed to release more growth hormone. The best way I found to do that is by sprinting and jumping. Research shows that your body releases 400 times more growth hormone when you're sprinting and jumping every day. The reason why this works because intense sprinting creates small microfractures in your shins that need to be healed. When growth hormone is released in your body after sprinting, it heals bones and makes them longer. When I was doing this for the first time, I made one mistake. My microfractures made my bones thicker, not longer. So I started to sit more often after my sprint sessions so my shins wouldn't be as activated and I didn't have to stand as much as I had to. Another mistake at the time I was making is I used to watch a lot of porn stars, and research shows that when you play with yourself too much, it makes your bones mature faster. So I decided to stop watching all that stuff and strictly focused on my height growth. The second thing, so I started to sprint 4 to 5 times a day and jumping 100 to 200 times per day. It was rough, but I wanted to be tall, so I'd do anything. So after gaining some centimeters, I wanted more. I also added some inches due to the way I was sleeping, and I used the technique from an Olympic high jumper called Rustam. I didn't do exactly what he did, but I had my own variation of how to do it. So I'd sleep with sleep tape and ankle weights on my feet every single day, and that helped me also grow some inches. By following some of Rustam's stuff, not only did I learn with my own experiences, but I also had a better understanding of how to grow after puberty. So at this point, I changed my routine. I added sleeping techniques alongside the other training stuff I was doing at the time, but I was still missing something. After doing this for 3 months, I realized that there was something I was doing wrong again. My diet was garbage. What I realized what I was eating was very vital and I had to change the way I was eating. So I started eating all types of food that would promote growth hormone. I was literally eating whatever, whenever, until I found out about intermittent fasting that could help me release more GH. Yeah, fasting. On to the third thing. Let me explain. Ghrelin is a hormone that makes us feel hungry when we expect food. It's like a signal that gets our body ready to digest food, even if our stomachs aren't empty. This explains why we may not feel very hungry in the morning despite not eating for so many hours. If you eat at the same times every day, your body will release ghrelin at those times, making you feel hungry. But if you don't eat, ghrelin levels will eventually go back to normal after 2 hours, and drinking water doesn't really affect ghrelin. A study showed that when people fast, their ghrelin levels rise in a pattern that matches growth hormone levels, suggesting that ghrelin helps increase growth hormone during fasting. The study showed that a scientist took 10 healthy men aged 20 to 28, told them not to eat for the next few days, and starting from noon of the first day until 8 p.m. on the fourth day. Studies showed that the rise in ghrelin during fasting seemed to cause a similar rise in growth hormone, suggesting that ghrelin helps boost growth hormone when we fast. But those are the best 3 tips I can give you. I do have more videos coming out soon, but if you want extra help, click the link in the description to get access to the document and other things I use to grow taller. And also comment below, I'll be happy to answer any of the questions that you have for me. If you also think this video was very valuable, share it with another short king that you know. But other than that, have a good day.